What is up, everyone? Please let me know if you guys can see this and everything. I don't do a bunch of live streams like this, so let me know. People are saying I lied. It is 5 o'clock. We are punctual around here. I might have thought that I went live and not actually been live and been talking to nobody for a minute, but that's between me and my computer camera. So let's get into it. We have some World War II footage to watch through today. Yeah, people can see me. There's such a delay on this stream, guys. I'm just seeing the chat start to roll in. What's up, everyone? GG Gaming, History Carl, Cheese Films. Oh my gosh, the chat's moving so fast I can hardly keep up. Thanks for joining in, everyone. I got some cool World War II artillery footage that we're gonna watch today. So my editor, his name's Hudson. He does a bunch of stuff behind the scenes for my channel, and he put together a ton of footage from World War II of like artillery crews, stuff like that. I haven't seen it yet. I like skim through it so I would know what to expect. But yeah, it'll be cool. We'll watch it together. I think it's about 15 or 20 minutes. I'll try to stay on stream for somewhere around 45 minutes to an hour. I think that'll be plenty of time to go through that, answer some questions, everything like that. W Hudson. Yeah, guys. W's in the chat for Hudson. All right, let me make myself small here and pull up the footage. I'll pull myself down to the corner. Bear with me. All right, there we go. Is that too small? There we go. That's plenty of me. You guys, you don't need to see my face that much. All right, let's get this going on. I'm gonna start playing through this footage. So this, I have a little sheet pulled up on my other monitor here with some descriptions of like where this footage was taken and stuff. So I'll pause every now and then and we can read through that because I think it's really interesting to see like who exactly these guys are and everything. So, all right, I appreciate everyone blowing up the chat. This is awesome. I haven't done a live stream since my channel was like a tiny fraction of this size. So yeah, I think if this goes well, I hope to do this more often. And if it doesn't go well, then that stinks for you guys because you're all stuck in here now. All right, there's no audio on this, so I'm just gonna play it and talk over it. It should be some pretty cool footage. These first few shots, we can see already that artillery firing. This is all U.S. artillery, and this is taken March 18th, 1944, near Anzio, Italy. So this is National Archives footage, probably, I think, taken by a Signal Corps videographer. So this is pretty sweet. I love seeing, I don't know if, maybe they'll give us a better view. I don't know if this is a 105 or a 155 or what, but some kind of artillery piece here with an enormous breach that they're unlocking, which is pretty sweet. I'm trying to look at the uniforms and stuff that these guys are using, but I love that huge camo net hanging over top of the artillery piece. That's pretty typical for what the, oh, people are saying lag. That sucks. I'm sorry it's lagging, guys. Let me pause for a minute and see if the lag chills out. I appreciate you letting me know that it's lagging though. Oh, what up, Joe? Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're better from getting shot at the Battle of the Bulge reenactment. All right. As I was saying, that camo netting. Oh, I appreciate that Hudson's in here. Yeah. We will work on the lag. Maybe I can play with my settings or something like that to fix that. But I'm gonna power through for now, and we'll see how it goes. I was talking about that netting on top of the gun. That's the type of camo netting you see used for vehicles and artillery pieces and stuff like that. Pro is on dial-up. Okay, maybe I'll stop for a second. I feel like nobody can hear what I'm talking about. It's better now. Okay, I'm gonna power through for real now. So the camo net, for the third time that I've tried to explain this and keep interrupting myself. So that type of camo net with the big holes there, when you see guys with those big holes on their helmet nets, that's what that is. So sometimes guys would take the nets, like the one you see over this artillery piece here, cut those up and put them over their helmets. And that's not to be confused. Earlier in the war, they had what's called a shrimp net. I wish I would have pulled one of those out, but I didn't even think about it. The shrimp net was like a woven net with tiny holes in it. They used to use those over these artillery pieces, and basically, the holes were so small and there was so much fabric that it kind of looked like they just draped a bed sheet over it. It didn't help at all with the camouflage. So they took the shrimp nets, cut all those up into helmet nets because they worked for that, but they didn't work for a giant artillery piece or something. And then they stuck to using these camo nets that we see here. They have that scrim burlap woven through the holes, and the holes I think are 2 inches in width. So let's keep playing and see what this crew's up to. All right, I'm playing again, so if it starts lagging terribly, somebody tell me. This guy, speaking of helmet nets, it looks like this guy's maybe got a British-style small hole net. Looking through that gun sight. Yeah, people are saying it's lagging. I'm going to keep powering through on the video and keep me posted on how it's going. But yeah, this guy, small hole Brit-style net there, looking through that gun sight. And these guys must have been in the field for a few days at this point because he had a little scruff on his face, kind of like I do right now. I always like to picture like these shots right here. I always picture these guys standing with the camera right in front of them, because cameras were, now everyone's got a camera on their phone. Cameras were kind of a big deal back then, so I'm sure they're like, hey, stand there and tell your crew to load up so we can record you saying it. I think a lot of these are not staged, but the guys were probably very aware that they were being filmed during this. That looks like maybe a 105? I don't know. I'm not the best judge of that. Maybe somebody can tell me in the chat. Oh, Joe sees me fine. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, it might keep lagging as we go here. I mean, even the video playback's lagging on my screen, so maybe my computer just sucks. I don't know. Is that impact footage? Those are very distant impacts, so it looks like indirect fire here. That's pretty cool. I mean, you can pretty much just see the smoke cloud, but this is good quality footage. Let me move myself out of the, move the wrong thing. Okay, now we can see it. I was kind of blocking it for a second there. These videos, especially when they're filming something at a distance, are kind of hit or miss. I watch a lot of this archive footage from World War II. Oh, we can see the, I'll pause it for a second. And then maybe we can avoid some lag and catch up on some stuff. But these original World War II videos, they're kind of hit or miss. This one seems to be great quality so far, but some of them just look like they're so grainy you can hardly see what's going on, which is a shame. But so far so good on this one. And I'm going to keep talking about helmet nets because I'm a helmet net nerd. We can see this guy in the foreground here. The guy kind of on the left has no helmet net. Then the guy whose helmet we can see, they call that the Normandy style net usually. That's like a 1/2-inch hole net. Let me see if I have one. I've got helmet nets all over the place, guys. Oh, it's got scrim in it. Oh, nice. Dropped some stuff on the ground. Here you go. This is the type of net that guy's got on, just without the scrim. And this is the type of net his buddy had on. This is the small hole British style net. So pretty similar ones. Let's keep playing through this. Let's keep playing. Oh, and I was going to comment on the note of helmets. Check out the captain's helmet in the background there. He's got the Captain Miller style helmet markings on his helmet. So pretty cool. Looks like M41 jackets. That makes sense for the time. Oh, and he's got the vertical follow me stripe on the back of his helmet too. Guys did that during the war. That was to signify officers. They would paint that vertical stripe on the back of their helmet so you knew in battle where the officers were. and it was on the back of your helmet, so hopefully the enemy wouldn't see it as much. And then the horizontal bars, those were for NCOs. So non-commissioned officers had the horizontal bars. So more Brit style nets here. Those are one of my favorite helmet nets. I feel like those are, I don't see those a lot at World War II reenactments, but when you look at footage, especially like late in 1944, you see a ton of those British style nets. Also, oh, hold up, I gotta go back for a second. Dude was wearing his helmet backwards, which is super goofy, but you do see that in original videos. This lieutenant right here, again, he's got it painted on his helmet. That's the front of his helmet facing backwards. Sometimes you see guys doing that, especially like machine gunners. If they're laying prone on the ground, that front bill of the helmet could kind of get in the way of their vision. And I guess here, maybe since this guy was looking up a bunch, he twisted it around so he'd have a little bit better visibility from his helmet there. That's cool. A buddy of mine, I was watching back my reenactment footage from that Battle of the Bulge event I went to. If you look closely at that, towards the end, one of my friends we're in a trench. He's wearing his helmet backwards, I think for that reason. And I thought that was pretty cool. You don't see that a lot at events. Stuff like that, it always seems goofy to do at reenactments, but you watch this original footage and these guys are doing all kinds of goofy stuff. Looks like this guy's got an HBT shirt on, talking on that, either a field telephone or maybe that's going to some kind of radio there, but that handset. I hate to harp on the uniform so much, but come on guys, that's kind of my thing. Even though I'm not wearing a uniform today, I'm wearing the World War Wisdom channel merch. If I turn that way, maybe, oh, wrong arm. You can see it a little bit. The paper doll shirt from my nose art collection. You can pick those up at bunkerbranding.com. All right, so now we're seeing, okay, let me pause. We got the major here, and they are probably on the other end of that line. I like that shot, how they kind of showed the guys in the field talking on the telephone and then traced the lines back to the guys in the rear. That's pretty cool. There we go, tracing the lines. Here come our boys in the rear. And these guys are in that little house, I guess. Seems like kind of a conspicuous place to set up your HQ. There's like one building in the whole area and everything else is fields, and these guys are set up in there, but I guess if that's your only option. And these guys, it looks like, I'm kind of blocking it here, let me drag myself over. They got that leather case there is an EE8 field telephone. So that's pretty sweet. I have one of those sitting right over here. I'm not gonna stand up and grab it, but you see it in the back of a lot of my videos here. I'm gonna pull over here. All right, let's pull this over and keep trucking. I apologize for the lag, guys, but we're gonna power through. Let's see. I like the in and out box there. There's some cool stuff in here. I wish this was something we'd recreate more at reenactments, having guys behind the lines doing cool stuff like this. Some of the events I've been to recently do a better setup. If you watched my Hagenau video, the one that was in the sanatorium, I always want to call it an asylum, in the sanatorium, if you watch that video, they had a cool headquarters set up with a bunch of stuff set out. It was pretty dark in there, but you can see some of that in the footage. And we got our sergeant here jotting stuff down. One thing I thought was really cool was in my 1911 video, the one where I'm talking about which guys carried a 1911 pistol, who was issued those, you know, how they were used. I read through a lot of those TO&E documents, the Table of Organization and Equipment. And one thing that's cool in those is you can see each type of company and then the number of men that were assigned with their ranks and also their roles. So I'm sure if you pulled up for whatever type of artillery company this is, you could see there would be one sergeant tasked with whatever this guy's doing. I don't know. Mapping out targets or doing calculations by hand here with the protractor. But that's really cool stuff to see, in my opinion. And these guys back behind the lines are oftentimes the guys who would have a 1911 or probably a carbine. All right, let me scroll through chat for 1 second. I saw somebody asked if I had a Discord. I do have a Discord. And I'm in there like every day talking to people, but it's Patreon members only. So if you join my Patreon, you'll get access to the Discord automatically. You just have to link your account, and then you can join that and connect with me in there. And then you'll also get access, of course, to my exclusive videos on Patreon. I have a couple reenactment videos that are only available on there, and some updates, behind the scenes stuff. So check it out. All right, let me keep playing through here. It is cool to see the old school hand calculations on grid paper here for the artillery guys. That's I'm sure that's very different today, but I can't say I know much about how modern artillery is plotted out. This is pretty cool. How much for Patreon? Go check out the link. It's linked. It should be in my channel description, and then also it's probably not in the description of this stream, but it's patreon.com/worldwarwisdom. Check it out on there. I have a few different tiers that you can get access. All right, let's see. These guys coming. Okay, let me pause it here. That's pretty cool. These guys running out of this hole here. Let's check the sheet. Okay, what time code are we at? 4:06. We are now, this is still Anzio, Italy in March. Okay, just wanted to check in here. All right, let's play through this. So these guys, you can see, are running out of like a hole in the ground that appears to be covered in a bunch of shelter halves. So that was one of my most loved pieces of World War II gear for GIs, was the shelter half, because it's so versatile. They could use it for anything. And here we can see they're not really using it for a tent. They have like a bunch of them strung together and put up over this hole in the ground, which is pretty sweet. I'm just going to answer random questions from the chat when I see that. Somebody asked about rifle grenades. I just bought a rifle grenade adapter for my M1 Garand, so hopefully I'll be making some videos about that pretty soon. It's a neat topic to cover. Let's keep watching through. Guys running out, grabbing their helmets. Looks like uniform-wise, a lot of HBTs and 41 jackets, which for Italy, I mean, that's what we would expect to see here. Here's a good look at the scrim woven into that net. So you can see the net, like, you can kind of look right through it, which is the difference from that other type I was talking about, the shrimp net. This one you can kind of see right through with some little burlap strips, which they found out was a better way to camouflage things from far away than by using a big sheet with little holes. You have to have those big holes, otherwise it looks like one solid sheet of material, and it makes things stand out even worse. You don't want that. Let's keep watching through here. I love the little throat mic that sits, I guess it's not a throat mic. It's, you wear it around your neck. I can't remember the name of it, but I've used those before. They're pretty sweet. It's like a hands-free microphone. Screwing some fuses onto these rounds. You don't see a ton of footage of this stuff. It's cool to see some up-close footage of the... Sorry, I'm trying to look closely. What's that guy got in his pocket? A little flashlight or something? Pretty cool. I can't tell what that is. But this is cool. Cool footage here that we're seeing. It's lagging even on my screen, so I'm sure this is lagging for you guys. I'll read a couple questions right quick. Someone said they do U.S. Navy. I do a Navy Beach Battalion impression, and I'm looking to get into some more Navy stuff. I just bought a chambray shirt yesterday, so keep an eye out for that type of stuff. Is the M1 Garand I have real? It absolutely is. I can't pull it out and show it on here, but it is real. Someone said this is a 155 long tom. Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is a long tom. It's hard for me to tell. I'm not super familiar with these guns, especially when they don't have the whole thing in one shot. So, sorry it's lagging, guys. I know, I know. U.S. Tank Corps. That's cool. I'd love to do some more armored impressions in the future. I would definitely like that. All right. Not too much going on. These guys putting rounds on targets. This is cool stuff. Another British style helmet net. Funny how those keep popping up. This is cool. Okay, we're coming up on the 6-minute mark. At 6:40. Oh no, wait, yeah, so this is now in Aachen, Germany. Aachen, however you want to say it. So now we're looking at a different crew here. That's cool to see. Firing at a high angle here compared to the last one, that's for sure. Let me go back for a second. This is, let me see, October 13th of 1944 is what we're watching right now in Germany. This is some cool footage. Sorry, I didn't mean to make us watch this again. I'll skip back forward. I just wanted to play through it with that in mind. What division are we watching? I'm not sure who this is. I don't have the full write-up. I have some more for the ones where that was available. Later on, there's some 83rd Infantry footage, some 6th Armored Division, some 90th Division. But this one, I'm not exactly sure who this is. And it doesn't seem like any of these guys are wearing their SSI patch on here. So I cannot tell. That's a big gun right there, loading those powder charges in the breech. This is cool. I wish I saw some more artillery impressions at events, but as you can imagine, it's uncommon to see guns much bigger than like a small 57 millimeter maybe, or something like that, because those, you can easily store them and lug them around. There is one group, World War II Armored. I know sometimes they will bring a 155 Long Tom to D-Day Conneaut, which is pretty sweet that they have that. Oh, speaking of D-Day Ohio, somebody's asking about that in the chat. At D-Day Ohio, who are the COs talking to through the radio? There are people who aren't on the beach or are kind of overseeing the event to keep it going. So usually your commanding officer, if they have a radio, they're talking to somebody who's kind of pulling strings from behind the scenes, and they'll make determinations for the reenactment. Like, we're putting on a show. You know, we want to fill up a certain amount of time. We want things to move slowly. We want the right amount of casualties at different places. So they will coordinate that stuff through radios. And a lot of times they use radios that look period correct. World War II Armored mentioned. Absolutely. Oh, Captain America's here from my Discord. Welcome, Steve Rogers. That's awesome. Like I said, guys, if you want to join the Discord, hop on that Patreon link, patreon.com/worldwarwisdom. Yeah, but World War II Armored, they bring out a cool 155 Long Tom to D-Day Ohio, and I'd love to see more artillery pieces and artillery crew impressions at events. I think that's pretty sweet. They do a good job with it too. I never get to look at it up close because I think they fire that sometimes throughout the day, and then they fire it during the reenactment. During the reenactment, I hear it going off, but I'm certainly not close enough to get a good look at it. I'm kind of focused on running up the beach and everything. Look at this guy in his Jeep cap. Jeep cap. Gotta love the Jeep cap. That's a cool shot. Look at all those shell casings. That's pretty sweet. Good videography here. Let me check and see where we're at. 7:35. Let me check my sheet. So this is still Anzio, Italy, but we're coming up in a few seconds. We'll be switching to some footage from August of 1944 in France. So let's check this out. Couple more seconds of these guns firing. It's cool to see them all firing, not in unison, but down the line like that. There's a word for that. I don't remember what it is. But very cool. Do they make big booms? They do indeed make big booms. Somebody tell the Costco guys. All right, here we go. Now we are in, where are we? We're in Gassecourt, France, which is a suburb of Paris. And this is August 24th, 1944 that we're looking at now. Another small hole helmet net. We're seeing those everywhere today. I wonder if that's a common trend we're running into. But I love the dude just sitting around reading the paper. These guys with their periscopes and everything. We've seen a couple of those. Again, small hole British net. Gotta love those British nets. That is one of the coolest looking ones. I like to wear those at reenactments. Like I said earlier, those are kind of underrepresented, in my opinion. I wonder which division this is. I'll have to look into that after the fact and figure this out. And, oh, there we go. Harlem to Hitler. Oh, that's so cool. I've seen this video clip. I didn't know where that was taken from, but that's sweet. You see tons of pictures and videos and stuff of guys writing these messages on artillery shells, and that's something you still see today in Ukraine. They come out with combat footage of guys writing stuff. There was even at one point a group that you could pay to put your message on an artillery round that they would fire at the enemy, or in theory at the enemy. Who knows where they were actually firing them? It's hard to tell from the video. But I got one of those for my birthday one year. Somebody bought that for me. They wrote "Happy Birthday" to World War Wisdom. Yeah, fired it out of a artillery piece. I think it was a M777 that was in the video. So it's cool. That's a timeless tradition there, writing messages on the artillery rounds and sending them towards the enemy. All right, sweet. Oh no, I'm moving the video. I keep trying to move myself out of the way, and then I just drag the video itself and make it work. But nothing too exciting going on behind me, so I'll stay on screen for now. Sweet. This is cool. You can see that's a well-camouflaged gun position there, although it seems like they're kind of out in the open. But compared to that last one, they've got all kinds of foliage on top of their gun and everything like that. Do I think someone got hit by my happy birthday shell? I have no idea. In the video, it just shows them firing it. For all I know, they could have fired it into the woods where nobody was. So, no way to know about that. Let's check in on where we are. We are, okay, we have a couple seconds left in this, which this is all taken again near Paris, France. And then we're going to Normandy, France, with the 83rd Division. I think it says anti-aircraft. That would be cool. Hill 131. That's coming up in a couple seconds. Let's check this out. Oh, here we go. We got the little, it's not actually a clacker, but it kind of looks like it. Oh, this is, yep, 7344. Very cool. Oh, that's cool. 87th AFA. I'm moving that. I like that Hudson mentioned that to me. Sorry, I'm moving myself all around. I am from Ohio, or at least I live in Ohio now. I don't know if you guys caught that, but the board they were holding up to the camera said Ohio at the top. And I think these guys are attached to the 83rd Infantry Division, which makes sense. The 83rd patch is the one that's like a triangle with all the letters of Ohio in it. So yeah, look right here, Ohio. And then a photographer with an unfortunate last name there, it looks like, Wiener. All right, these guys are loading up. Let's see if we can make out what type of artillery piece this is. It looks like maybe another 105. Again, I'm not great with these. Oh, this is, hold up. This guy's wearing like the tanker's helmet, it looks like. I don't think I've ever seen that used by an artillery crew. Again, I moved the video instead of me. Let me move myself so we can see this dude. Yeah, that was definitely a tanker helmet. That's kind of interesting. I don't think I've ever seen an artillery crew using one of those, except for maybe self-propelled artillery. But it's interesting stuff. Oh, this is cool footage. Does that guy have a pistol on his hip or something? Yeah, it looks like he's got a 45 on his waist. At least it looks like it to me. This guy kind of right in the center here. And then we have another officer with that. Oh, he's got one too. I'll move myself out of the way. So like I was saying with my video about the 1911, the 45 pistol, a lot of times the officers were the ones who had those, and that was typically their only weapon that they had, their only personal weapon. So yeah, we can see this guy's an officer because, again, he's got that follow me stripe, that vertical stripe on the back of their helmet. That's how they identified the officers. So it was called a follow me stripe. That way troops can tell who to follow. So let's keep watching that. Yeah, he's got a cool gear setup. Here's that same officer using his binoculars there. Yeah, this is definitely a smaller gun than the 155 that we were looking at a minute ago. They're not loading powder charges here. It looks like self-contained casings or cartridges, whatever they're called for an artillery piece. Oh, James, what's up, man? Thanks for jumping in. I'm reading through some chat right here. Somebody said to reach out about Navy reenacting. I'll keep that in mind, man. Thank you. Do I only have one kit? I do not. I actually have a bunch of different impressions and different pieces of gear so I could put together a bunch of different impressions that I haven't even done yet. So 41st Armored Regiment was given around 2,200 extra canteen pouches for grenades. That's an interesting fact. I did know that practice of carrying the grenades in a canteen pouch was especially common with the 41st. Didn't know that they were issued extras for that purpose. So I might have to look into that. That's really interesting. I think I did cover that in a video at some point, but that was probably a while ago now. Somebody asked if this is a 75 millimeter. I would guess that might be correct here. Definitely smaller than the 155 shells we just saw a minute ago. Let me keep reading through here. Am I doing D-Day again? I'll be there this year. If anyone's going to D-Day Conneaut, I'll be there. The M1941 Johnson rifle, definitely an interesting design. I should cover that on the page sometime. I think the Johnson rifle and the Johnson light machine gun deserve their own video. It would be cool to film one with the actual weapons itself, but they're kind of... Oh, somebody said no, it's a 105. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. Like I said, I'm not very good at identifying these artillery pieces, especially when I can only see a tiny bit of it at a time. But I need to brush up on my U.S. artillery pieces, I guess. But anyway, the Johnson rifle and light machine gun, very difficult to come across these days. They're very rare. Let's get back to watching a little footage, and then I'll jump back, answer some more questions in a minute here. These guys are, again, probably talking into one of those EE8 field telephones. That was a nice dramatic yell by that dude there when it fired. That was good. Good footage. Again, I always wonder what these guys felt like being filmed doing their jobs like this. You have to imagine the camera operator's probably pretty up close to these guys. Oh, he's got an armored division patch on. Who are we watching now? Let me check my cheat sheet here. This is... we're still in the Normandy area. Very cool. So I don't know, I couldn't make out what armored patch that was. It's always hard. All the armored patches are the same for the most part, with the little number that signifies which armored division is. So let me read these. Okay. Sorry if the lag's still bad. I see people saying that. Somebody said over here, 16mm color footage from Normandy in 1945 with soldiers on leave. That's pretty cool. You should, if you have that, send it over to me. I'd love to check it out. You can email me at worldwarwisdom@gmail.com, and I'll try to get back to you. Virgil's in here. Virgil, what up, man? Haven't talked to you in a bit. I hope you're doing well. Always love watching your videos and everything. If you guys don't follow Virgil.101, get with it. Give that man a subscribe. I see, okay, people are recognizing him. That's good. I'm not the only one. Let's see, what do we got here? This is cool, a cool close-up again of that camo net. I will say those nets are super annoying to unfurl and set up. I've had to do that. Oh, we got an M7 Priest here. How long have we been watching an M7 Priest? That's, let me pause this. That's cool. So this is a self-propelled gun, which makes sense here. And that's a well-camouflaged position. Let's see, this is now back to Anzio, Italy. So this is from March 18th, 1944 in Italy, and we're watching this self-propelled artillery piece. This is pretty sweet. The self-propelled artillery of World War II is, I don't know, there's something cool about it, especially the German self-propelled artillery. If you watch those, if you check out like the Martyrs and some of those designs, I just think they're so cool looking. The open tops on these make them so cool to me. Maybe that wasn't super practical. They don't really use that anymore. The new self-propelled artillery that we see, like the, what's the current military one? Do they still use the Paladin? Is that what it's called? That big, I think it's a 155 self-propelled gun. Maybe somebody knows more about that and can send that in the chat. Maybe they stopped using those by now, I'm not sure. But those are super cool, and they do have a closed cab, which I think makes a lot of sense. Yeah, somebody said M7, that's why the tanker helmet. Yeah, I've seen that before, like I said, in self-propelled guns, but I think I was looking at this and thinking it was not a self-propelled gun, and that's why I was so thrown off. But yes, tanker helmet for a M7 definitely makes sense. All right, let's keep ripping through this footage. Yeah, self-propelled guns are sick. Somebody asked if I watch History Secrets. I do watch his videos from time to time, and I got to meet him at D-Day, Ohio this year. If you watch his videos, I'm in at least one of them, talking to him for a bit, which was pretty cool. He was a great guy. It was fun to meet him. Tank destroyer, somebody said, yes. This one is not a tank destroyer, but it's a similar concept. Big gun on tracks. And they did the M7 Priest and a couple other self-propelled guns. It might not have just been that. Maybe the M10 also. But oh, someone said the M10 was designated as a tank destroyer. But anyway, in Aachen, I think they famously like use those up close for direct fire on buildings. And any OGs who played Call of Duty, which one was it? Call of Duty Finest Hour. I played that on my GameCube as a kid. There was a mission where they had a self-propelled artillery piece blowing holes in buildings in Aachen. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. All right, let's keep watching. I want to see more of this. Oh, there's a good look at the gun itself and the carriage. You can see those logs around the side. Typically, the logs on the side of vehicles like this, at least when you see it with tanks, it's usually one for additional protection. So just having a log there hopefully would stop certain kinds of projectiles and things like that. But also, you could use the log if you got stuck in the mud. You could fasten the log to the tracks to kind of pull yourself out. So the logs are kind of dual purpose. You see that in the movie Fury. They have like Fury, the tank, has the big logs lashed to the side. It's a really cool look for the tanks and stuff. Don't know if I've ever seen it on an M7 like this, so this is pretty sweet. Where are we now? I want to make sure I keep up with this. I think we're still... Okay, now it says this is France. We're in France with the 231st Battalion of the 6th Armored Division. Okay, very cool. And I guess there's some names here. Lieutenant Colonel Thomas M. Crawford and Major William R. Bills. So I don't know, maybe we'll see those officers in here, or if that's who's filming it. We'll find out. Let's check this out. That's cool. Does that guy have a hood on his M43? That was pretty sweet. You typically, it's kind of early to see that, I guess, but you do see them. More British style helmet nets. Oh, here's the major that we were talking about. So I guess this guy right here is Major William R. Bills, judging by the insignia on his helmet there. Pretty sweet. You can see he's got, speaking of officers getting pistols, I couldn't see the pistol itself there, but I could see the mag pouch for the 45. So that checks out. Some cool uniform variety here. We got some guys in tanker jackets. It looked like some guys maybe in 43s. Yeah, a lot of tanker jackets here. The winter combat jacket. That was its official designation. Okay, I'll pause since it looks like we're getting to some new footage here. The got armored guys like the tanker jackets. Maybe that goes without saying. That's why it's called the tanker jacket, because they made such... Pardon me, they made such extensive use of them. But one reason they liked them over the M43 jacket, because the M43 jacket was very popular. Guys loved the big pockets. They liked the roomier cut that the jacket had. It was a little longer, which kind of helps block the wind a little bit. But armored guys didn't like it that much because it's so big and baggy. It would get snagged on stuff inside of the tank, which is the last thing you want. So I actually cover that in a video that I'll be putting out soon. But the tanker jacket, it has an elastic waistband and it stays super, I actually have one on the back of my chair here. It stays super close to your body because of that elastic. And sometimes you even see guys wearing the tanker overalls, the winter combat trousers, they're technically called. You see them wearing those over their jacket to kind of streamline their profile, hold everything in really tight, and that helps so things don't get snagged. If you're working inside of a confined space, a tank, a self-propelled gun, whatever, you don't want to have a bunch of loose, baggy clothing. That's for sure. Let me keep powering through here. Oh, somebody asked, this is a good question. Has it ever been discussed to use a Bangalore at D-Day, Ohio? So they're talking about a pyro one. Every year they do use Bangalore torpedoes. If you guys don't know what a Bangalore torpedo is, it's basically a long tube filled with explosive. You can push it under barbed wire or obstacles or anything like that, and it can kind of blow them up to clear a path, detonate mines, stuff like that. So we do use those every year, but they don't actually explode or anything. Typically, guys will carry them for the landings. They'll bring them up to the front, maybe put them under the barbed wire and everything like that, but they typically don't have a way to simulate those exploding. I would love to see that done at some point, but it's hard to find a way to make an explosive like that and have it be safe to use for the reenactment with so many people in close proximity. Maybe they could do that in like a sectioned off area or something. They used to plant explosive charges all over the beach. which was really cool. I remember going to D-Day, Ohio as a kid and watching these big charges detonate all over the beach during the invasion. But now they just have those on a sectioned off area of the beach. Those are mostly supposed to simulate the planes dropping bombs on the beach and stuff like that. There are planes flying over, and also probably mortar round impacts, artillery impacts, stuff like that. So maybe there's a potential down the road to kind of work out something similar for the Bangalore torpedoes. I would certainly love to see that. Would be cool to show more of the obstacles clearing. Or in addition to the Bangalore torpedoes, the pole charges. The pole charge is basically a huge brick of TNT at the end of a long piece of wood that they would push up to a bunker or an obstacle or something like that. That would be cool to mimic at some point. All right, let's keep watching. Let's keep watching. So now we are, where are we? This is called Dillingen. Is that how you say it? Dillingen, Germany. And this is the 90th Division, December 3rd, 1944. So pretty much all the footage we've watched today has been from 1944. Before we keep going, I'll answer a couple more questions. Let's see. Why aren't there many Pacific Theater reenactments? It would be cool to see. There are some. There are some Pacific Theater reenactments. The thing is, they're just, one, there aren't as many Japanese reenactors. Not as many people reenact the Imperial Japanese forces. So to kind of, to have an event like that, you have to have both sides, typically. And there are now some reenactments popping up for the Pacific Theater. But another problem with that is, here in the US, we don't have as good of a setting for that. The terrain here is generally more similar to the European theater, at least in the area where I live, more similar to Europe than it is the Pacific. I know they had a really cool PTO, Pacific Theater of Operations, event last year, I think it was, and they did that in Texas. And the landscape there was really cool. I saw James asked about where to buy reproduction winter combat trousers. I know QMI makes them. I don't know how great those are. And I know World War II Impressions makes really good ones. I used a pair of originals recently because that's all I could get, and they were cheaper than reproductions. So typically, if an original item is cheaper than a copy of it, I'll get the original. But I do feel bad using original uniforms sometimes. I try to be a little more careful with them. All right, how much time do we have left? We only have a minute left in this video. Let's wrap this up, and then we'll move on. Somebody's asking about the ladder on the side of the M7. Let's scroll back a little bit. Oh, that is neat. I don't know the backstory of that, but it does look to be homemade, or at least there's maybe like a step broken. It looks a little janky and falling apart. But all right. Oh, here's a better look. Yeah, it looks like logs lashed together or something. That's kind of cool. Good eye, whoever spotted that. All right, let's keep powering through. Maybe in Florida, Georgia, or similar. Yeah, definitely in the South, you'd get a better representation of the Pacific Theater environments, those islands and stuff. They do hold some Pacific Theater events here in Ohio, but as you can imagine, like the terrain here, you don't really feel like you're in the Pacific. That's a cool shot there. Let me pause it on this. I gotta look up the official designation for that periscope, because those are pretty cool looking. And we've seen every artillery crew I think we've seen so far has been using one of those. So that's a pretty cool item. I feel like I've seen those maybe at reenactments before. And then it looks like this guy he's talking on what's probably a field telephone, just like the other guys we've seen. Because people think of guys in World War II using radios. A lot of the guys were using wired communication still. That was still the primary form of communication, wired stuff. So that's probably what he's using. And then he's got that, it looks like the dismounted rain jacket. His raincoat is kind of draped over him and maybe covering the radio as well and stuff to protect it. Someone asked, what shirt am I wearing? I'm so glad you asked. I keep doing that. It's reversed and I don't expect it to be. This is one of my merch shirts. It says a paper doll, and the design on the back, I'm not going to turn around to show you right now, but there's a design on the back. It's a painting that was done on the side of a Sherman tank as it was advancing through Germany in 1945. I have a short about the history of it, but it's the tank was named a paper doll. So on the front here, I have an outline of the exact type of tank, the EZ-8 Sherman, and then that's on the front with a paper doll text, and then on the back, it says a paper doll bigger, again, like the name of the tank with the full painting that was the logo or the mascot of, I think, the 68th Tank Battalion. So check out these shirts. You can get them at bunkerbranding.com. If you go on Bunker Branding and you search up World War Wisdom, you'll see all my shirts. I have some ones like this that are of like bombers and stuff too. And there's one that's a design taken from the back of a bomber jacket. Like the crews would paint their jackets with portraits of the planes. I have one that's mimicked right off of an original picture of one of those jackets. So pretty cool stuff. White M1 in the background. Did I wear that white? Yes. Let me move out of the way here. Okay. This white M1 helmet right here is the one that I whitewashed for that reenactment I went to recently. If anyone in here has not seen the Battle of the Bulge reenactment I went to, definitely go check that out, because that was one of my favorite events I've ever been to. And I think it made for a really cool video. I don't think the footage ever really fully captures the experience, but that one, out of the videos I've made, I think that footage was some of the best. And I also got a new camera recently, so it's really, it's better quality compared to my last few reenactment videos. Sorry, I was trying to click stuff and talk at the same time. Doesn't always work out. All right, let's watch through the end of this, and then I'll answer a couple more questions, and then I'll probably hop off here. Guys armed with the carbine. Very common for artillery guys to have carbines, because in theory, they shouldn't have to do a lot of shooting. Thank you so much for the super chat. It's Leo TV. I really appreciate that. Oh, and it's their first ever super on a live stream. I'm honored. Thank you so much. Someone asked, when did I get my play button? A couple years back now. I've had that around for a while. I'm going to go back here because this is really cool. All right, somebody who knows more about artillery, tell me, is this a 57 millimeter gun? Maybe? I don't know. It looks like a smaller projectile. 57, 75 maybe? Definitely smaller than the 155 we saw. And it looks a lot smaller than that 105 we had earlier as well. We can see the guy with the carbines got the mag pouch on the buttstock. Very cool. I love when you see that. We got the observer here. So that was another thing that when I was looking at the table of organization and equipment documents for the different companies, in the artillery they had designated observers at, I think they had one at the company level who was maybe an officer, and then they had one per gun section, I want to say. I would have to look at that document again, but it's maybe it's just because I'm a nerd. It definitely is, but I have so much fun looking at those original documents and going through and seeing all the roles spelled out. Like this company would have one sergeant who had this role and he would be issued this weapon, and it would have one lieutenant who this was his job and he got this weapon. It's cool to see that spelled out on paper. I find that stuff super interesting. What's this guy wearing? Is that a sweater? So I'm like leaning in super close so I can see it. I'm sure you guys are getting sick of looking at me from like 3 inches away. That kind of looks like a sweater. You don't often see, maybe I'm wrong. It's kind of hard to tell, but it looks like a sweater to me. Oh my God. Another super chat. 16mm color footage sent to your email. Thank you so much. I appreciate you sending that over. I'll definitely look through that and I'll try to get back to you soon. That's really cool. I appreciate that. This crew is from a towed tank destroyer battalion. Ah, those were used in artillery roles as well. That makes sense. I think, speaking of towed artillery, that's one of the TO&E documents that I used in that video that I made. So, someone said they've never caught one of my streams before. I think that's probably most people because I don't do a lot of streams. So hopefully I'll be doing more of these. I just got to figure out the lag and everything like that. So, all right, let's keep moving on. We only have a few seconds left, 15 seconds left. So here's our guy with the sweater again. You don't often see the sweater worn as an outer layer. That's why that stuck out to me. That's cool. That was sweet. That was some really good footage. Maybe I'll skim back through it there just so we can see what we've covered. But we got a few different types of artillery pieces. We got all 1944 footage, but I think that behind the scenes kind of headquarters footage, I think that's really cool. I would love to see more footage of stuff like that. Maybe if I do another one of these, I'll try to find more because you don't always see a ton of that like mundane seeming things, calculating artillery trajections or trajectories, stuff like that. It's also cool to see the artillery crew running out like that. I have to imagine that was probably staged. Like, I'm just imagining the camera guy going, okay, okay, and come out now. And then everyone runs out and grabs their helmet. But it's very cool stuff. He's getting comfortable making himself at home and wearing a sweater. That's so true. I think it's funny, especially when you see guys wearing a sweater vest in the field. It's like they just woke up, put on a sweater vest, and started shooting at Germans. Just kind of crazy for some reason to me to do that in a sweater vest. Like, I think it's such a product of the time. Oh, Rocco, thanks for the super. You're not too late to the stream at all. You're just in time, except it is wrapping up, so you are kind of late. But thank you so much. I'll stay on for a couple more minutes just for you, since you missed out. Let's see. Let's scroll through. Oh, I don't think I noticed that the first time, though. Like, writing, there we go. There's a close-up of it on the side of that gun there. That's really sweet. It looks like just maybe chalk or something, but I love any type of customization like that. It's so cool. Guys just writing on their stuff and looking at the period markings and everything. Gotta love it. What's this guy resting on? That almost looks like a speaker or something. I can't make out what that is. Your guess is as good as mine if anyone has an idea. Where do I live? I live in the good old state of Ohio. I live in New England. No groups here attend D-Day Ohio. Are singular few guys allowed to take part in it, or is it just the specific groups? Okay, good question. I think the answer is it's just the specific groups. This is for D-Day Ohio. It's just the few groups that they allow, but you can join those groups just for that event. So typically, you don't have to like be a long-standing member of that group. You can just get in touch with the leadership. I think all the groups that attend are listed on the D-Day Ohio website. So a lot of times you can get in touch with those guys in advance, and then you can attend the event with that group even if you're not a part of that. All right. People are asking, I saw somebody asked about how many times have I reenacted as a medic. I haven't done that recently, but I've done plenty of reenactments. Most of my reenactment career. I was portraying a medic. I started doing medic impressions because when I got into reenacting, I was too young to carry a weapon. So I was like, okay, I'll do the medic impression, since medics didn't carry weapons typically during the war. They were non-combatants, at least US medics in the European theater. So I did that for a long time, and then once I became old enough to get a weapon, I just kept doing medic because I thought it was so cool. And I stuck with that for a long time until just a couple years ago. I started using my Garand, and now I've also got a carbine and an 03A3 that I've used before. So let me scroll through here. Rainbow Plays. Thanks for the love. I'm glad you enjoy my videos. A lot of good questions in here. There's some wild ones. I'll try to pick out a couple to answer. Someone asked about the liner. Oh, the pile liner. That's what it's called. I'm not going to pull that out this second. I should cover that in a separate video. But the M43 liner, it's like a fake fur jacket, fur on the inside, and they call it pile. That's the name of that like fake fur material. Super warm, and you wear it under your M43 jacket. So I bought an original one of those. The problem is the original is not in great shape, and the fabric I think is starting to dry rot. So I try to wear it sparingly. I don't really wear it to reenactments that often because I would have worn it to the Battle of the Bulge event I went to since it's so warm. But once I start moving around in that thing, it got a lot of rips and tears. And even if I pull on the fabric, it kind of rips apart. So I'll wear that for stuff in my studio here when I'm recording myself for videos. But I don't want to destroy that original piece of history. I'm trying to keep it in nice shape. People are asking for a Q&A. We should do some more Q&A in the future. You guys are right. I like answering these questions from you guys live. Maybe sometime I can do a better job of collecting questions in advance and then answering them on stream. I think that'd be a lot of fun. All right. I'm getting out of here. Did somebody say, what's up, Echoes of the Past? Do you think that I'm Echoes of the Past, or was he in here? Oh, Joe's headed out. Thanks for coming by. Thanks, everyone, for stopping in. I think I'm going to wrap up the stream here in just a second. Let me read. I'll read like 2 more questions, and then I'm going to hop off. Someone said, I've seen an Iwo Jima reenactment in an amphitheater-like stage. Oh, you know what? That's at the Pacific War Museum down in Texas. That's down in Texas. Jacob Riley, a friend of mine, does a lot of cool stuff there. And I would love to go to some of their events. They do have, you can look up videos of that on YouTube. They do kind of have a stage there for reenactments with bunkers and everything. And they'll reenact certain Medal of Honor recipients. They'll reenact those people earning the Medal of Honor. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And they also have flamethrowers and stuff, which is also pretty sweet. All right, guys. Thank you for all the questions. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to wrap up the stream here. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out for a bit. I'll try to do some more of these in the future. I thought it was fun to watch the footage. Sorry about the lag and stuff. It is what it is. We'll get that figured out down the road. But I'll see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.